apparently she had a Valentine's Day accident in the gym.
Oh no!
Not in the gym.
Not in
Not Valentine's Day.
When you started Valentine's Day accident, I was like, excuse me.
Hello and welcome to the Sherlock's Team podcast with me, Sherri Andrew. Today I'm joined by Nana Achempong, Georgina Blaskey and Vanessa Menrad. Hi ladies.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good, how are we? It's a bit chilly today.
Yeah, that's why I'm sat here.
You're wrapped up.
I'm also sat on my hot water bottle.
Keeping toasty.
Yeah, I can't be cold ever. It's not in my blood.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
It is better. Not quite spring yet. How's everyone feeling?
No.
Well, it's bright and sunny, and I think that over the weekend I just noticed like the flowers are blooming everywhere. So I feel like there's colour coming back into the world now.
Finally.
And it's getting darker later, and the mornings aren't as dark as well. Like I get up and go to the gym in the mornings, and actually I don't look like I'm leaving the house in the middle of the night now, which is quite nice.
Such a difference.
Yeah.
Finally, I know. How's everyone's weekend been? Vanessa, it's been your birthday. Happy belated.
It's been my birthday for the last 2 weeks. Really milking it.
You go all out, don't you?
I didn't think I was, but then I looked at it and I was like, yeah, okay. Maybe I did, yeah. So my birthday was actually last weekend, but I had my birthday party this weekend because my birthday was on a Sunday and I don't like to be hungover on my actual birthday. So I thought I'd do the party the week after. Makes more sense.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So I did. I wanted to have a dinner party with everyone, but I couldn't really afford taking everyone out. So I thought to myself, because I love cooking and hosting, so I thought I'll do a dinner party at home. I cooked in the morning on a Saturday, then everything was ready basically. We rented some tables and chairs from the community centre next door.
That's such a good
if you
idea.
don't have a dining table, find the nearest
community
centre. And they were so lovely about it. Like all he wanted was a deposit, no cost, nothing,
just make sure you get it back to them. That's so good.
It was honestly so nice. So I managed to host 14 people. It was very tight in the space. There was not much getting up and sitting back down. And I've been for the last 2 months kind of getting together little bits of decorations just to keep the cost as low as possible. And then I cooked a bolognese. I cooked a beef and a veggie bolognese for everyone. We had some burrata starters, which I put on a little bed of rocket with a honey dressing.
Oh,
and then I did some grilled peaches. I had that at Straker's, and I was like grilled peaches and burrata, perfect. All you do is take the peaches, put them in a bit of olive oil, and fry them till they caramelize. Honestly, so good. So
an Italian theme.
Yeah, Italian.
Yeah.
Well, dinner.
Oh, dinner.
Italian themed dinner. We had some focaccia, which I bought from the market. I did not make that.
I mean, that was one of my lockdown bakes. Was focaccia.
Well, lockdown. At least we had time.
Yeah,
now,
I know.
Who's got time
But
to make focaccia?
apparently, it's quite easy to make once
yeah.
you get the drift of it. But I felt it scared me. Anything that involves baking, I'm a bit like, am I gonna get this right? Do I really want to stress myself out with that? And then my housemate made me a birthday cake, and my friend brought over tiramisu. She's Italian, so the
double
tiramisu
dessert.
was
Amazing.
chef's kiss.
And
So good.
staying with the theme.
Yes, staying with the theme.
Yeah.
It was just, you know what? It was so lovely to have everyone sit in your space with you, and you chat, you listen to some music, you drink, and then we went out to dance afterwards and to stereo actually, which has become very popular now. There was a massive queue outside. Last
Where's
time I went,
that?
it's in Covent Garden.
Oh, I've not been.
Opened about a year ago, and when it first opened, not many people knew about it. So it was great.
Is it like a door and then downstairs?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's honestly, the queue was so long, and we were half an hour late for our booking. But shout out to Stereo for being so nice to us, letting 14 people in half an hour late and still giving us a table. So that was very kind of them. And then there was a bit of a live band still playing, and then a DJ. So it was so nice. And then Sunday, literally just spent on the sofa.
Chill.
Yeah, really chill. But
Sounds like a perfect birthday weekend.
Honestly,
fully celebrated.
Yeah, really, really happy with everything. My heart is very full.
Oh, so nice.
That sounds so nice. Georgina, how was yours?
Well, I feel like my weekend kicked off kind of on Thursday night because I went to see Sarah Snook in Dorian Gray, which I think is the best thing I have ever seen on the stage. Just ever.
Sorry, that's really high praise.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing. And I go to the theatre a fair amount, and I've seen quite a few kind of I'm definitely gullible for there's a Hollywood star on the stage, let's book a ticket and go and see them, even if I'm like right at the back in the top. I just want it's so exciting to see somebody famous. But anyway, some friends had booked this ages ago, before I even knew she was coming over or anything. They obviously had some, intel, and I didn't know really much about it. I purposely had kind of not really read too much, and it was a one-woman show, and if I'm honest, I don't always love a one-woman, one-man thing. I like a cast. So I was a bit like, oh, well, we'll see what it's like. And it was just incredible. She was incredible. And if anyone can get a ticket, I really would try and get one. Because it's amazing. She plays 26 parts. And they filmed it where they kind of...
That's incredible.
Yeah. So she's on the stage and there's a big suspended screen, and she starts off behind it just in like a shirt and jeans, and there are people in like crew all just dressed in black with cameras, and there are different cameras following from different angles, which then capture. So when she looks at one, that's kind of one character, and then she'll like raise an eyebrow and look at the other and like change her whole demeanor, and that's then the other character. I mean, even just to remember to keep going the right way,
and what camera to look at.
And then she's walking through places, and they're just following her. Then she'll suddenly turn around and do something different. I think it was just short of 2 hours, only her. I mean, how she even remembers the lines. I can't even remember a shopping list,
That's what I was going to say.
Letting the facial expressions and...
Yeah, and then as it moves and builds, she starts using wigs, and then there's more costumes, then there's some sideburns, then there's a change with the eyebrows, and it sort of builds and gets kind of richer and richer the whole way through. And then they have some pre-filmed stuff that they layer over the top of her live performance in some incredibly clever way, because it's still all on one screen. I don't know how they did it. It was absolutely brilliant, and obviously standing ovation, and everyone was just like, like the audience kind of cheered really loudly, and then everyone almost just went quiet, like,
what did we just watch?
Like, what did we just watch? There's no interval. So it's like this energy, and it builds and builds and builds and builds, and at the end, there's such a climax to the story anyway that is then coming through. And it was almost like I kind of left like fizzing. It was so intense. And kind of when we went to the loo at the end, because obviously everyone was desperate to go to the loo by the end, everyone in the toilets was just like chattering away, like, oh my God, what have we just seen? Like, wasn't that amazing? And all these strangers just kind of like bouncing off each other. It was really quite a moment.
Yeah,
so that was
I really want a ticket now to go. I was
going to say, and this is Sarah Snook, who people will know from Succession.
And she just won.
She won a big award.
And Kieran Culkin won Best Actor, and she won Best Actress for Succession. So, so she's obviously riding high. But I did watch an interview the next day about her talking about it, and she did say she had played that character for so long in Succession, and she really wanted to show people the full breadth of her work. And my God,
so she did.
She did like
26 characters.
From 1 to 26 quite quickly.
And it was and you felt every character. I mean, it really was. Yeah,
incredible.
Tour de Force, it was amazing.
Gosh, high praise. Well, good luck if there are still tickets available.
Yeah.
Definitely go.
It was great. Yeah. So that started my weekend.
That was the peak.
That was the peak. And then on Friday, I went to stay at the Grove for a night.
Oh, lovely.
Which was so lovely. I really loved the hotel, but the main thing that I really enjoyed was the spa, and it's got this beautiful pool. I think you've been there before, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. It's such a nice hotel. I think they did up the spa about a year ago.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it's pretty new.
Okay. So it feels lovely, and then it has this big kind of oak beamed swimming pool, indoor swimming pool, but the whole pool's been tiled in this kind of either very dark green or possibly even like a granite black tiling. So normally you sit by a pool and it's all kind of blue, and but this just feels really dramatic when you sit by it. So the weather wasn't great on Friday, was it? So I just kind of cozied up next to that.
Hunker down.
So
Lovely.
Nice weekend.
Very nice weekend.
Lovely.
Nana, can you top that?
I'm not sure that I can, that play.
I actually have got one more thing. My final, my celeb
you're not done.
spot.
She's not done.
My celeb spot.
Oh.
I actually spotted 4 celebrities this
4?
weekend. Yeah.
4.
So Jamie
wow.
Callan and Sophie Dahl were at the theatre on Thursday night.
That's a good spot.
Jason Orange was at the Grove.
Okay.
We love.
The Grove always has celebs. I know that because the England football team always stay there during their whatever
Training.
season
That's a
they're
hot
doing.
tip right there.
Exactly.
Okay.
Honestly.
So, and Jason Orange.
Okay.
And then on Sunday, I went shopping with my daughter on King's Road and I saw Victoria Beckham walking out of Brandy Melville as we walked in with Harper behind her with her foot in a massive boot.
Oh
no.
She's done something to her
Well, I
leg.
then Googled, apparently she had a Valentine's Day accident in the gym.
Oh no.
Not in the gym.
Not in
Not Valentine's Day.
When you started Valentine's Day accident, I was like,
oh.
excuse me.
Well, I
gym.
was questioning.
Very on brand.
Was that at the gym?
Yeah.
Or was there some
Well,
shenanigans
well,
in the Beckham household on Valentine's Day?
Should have asked her, Victoria.
I opened the door to
Georgina.
let her out.
What am I saying?
It's all about Victoria now.
It's all about me. Too.
Yeah, I always get. People always confuse me with her. It's so weird. No, so we were going in, and I saw her, and I like pulled back my daughter, and I was like, "It's Victoria Beckham!" Oh my god! So I was like opening the door because she was on properly on crutches with this boot. So I just thought, we've got so much in common, both hanging out with our daughters, going into Brandy Melville
Both on the King's
a
Road.
Sunday.
Oh wow!
So I'm celebed out.
So
No
you
more
had-
celebs, please.
No more celebs. Okay. Wow, that is a great list.
That is.
Yeah, from
I felt like they got
A-list.
better.
Yeah, you have finished on a high.
Yeah.
VB.
So there we go.
Wish her well with her boot. Nana, what have you been up to this weekend?
So I'm still recovering from last weekend. So this weekend was very, very chill.
Have you caught up on sleep? Post BAFTAs?
Post BAFTAs,
Yeah.
have caught up on sleep. Obviously then had a very busy week. So Friday was very chill, and then Saturday, one of my really good friends had her 40th birthday party at Home House, which was just huge, basically.
Oh,
It
wow.
was kind of like a wedding. I was here for it. There were about 4 outfit changes. There was an 8-piece band.
This is what I aspire to be.
She did.
She did. There will be. I used to do outfit changes for my birthdays, like my 30th. I think there were about 5 or 6 outfit changes.
Nana, this is what surprised me.
And I'd done it every year up until my
Okay.
30th. And then at my 30th, I was like, okay, I'm done now, guys, until my 40th, which is coming up quite soon. Well, 2 years.
Gotta start preparations now.
Yeah, exactly. I appreciated the outfit changes. The cake was incredible. The floral display, the DJ. So yeah, that went on until about 3 a.m. I think.
Okay, quite late finish.
Quite late
That
finish.
sounds so fun.
I love
Oh my
that
God,
you're saying
Home
it's a chill
house.
weekend.
That's
Went to
lovely.
Home House, 40th birthday party. Chill.
No, that is true. One event for me is like that's a chill.
That's enough,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
enough.
yeah.
That's a chill weekend for me. But yeah, it was just so nice to see like so many kind of like friends and family and people that I hadn't seen for ages. Yeah, no, it was really, really fun. And then Sunday I really did just chill. I was like in the house making my granola,
Doing meal prep.
doing my meal prep,
Yep.
doing my juices, doing my ginger shots.
Yep. Sunday reset.
Yeah, Sunday
Yeah,
reset.
nice.
I actually filmed a reel as well. That was like, I never have time to like properly film like outfit reels and things like this. And a
Nice.
couple of weeks ago on Instagram, one of my followers asked me what my top gym wear outfits or brands were.
that's a good question.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. I was like, I want to do this, but let me do it in an interesting way. And I don't know if you know, I love hula hooping. So I have a weighted hula hoop that
Okay.
that's one of my forms of exercise.
I love
either.
this. I wish I could just be doing that in front of the TV. But
Yeah,
it's
this
quite
is
hard, isn't it?
I do it while I'm watching EastEnders.
How long can you
okay.
keep your hula hoop going for without it dropping?
Like an hour.
Wait, really?
Yeah. I can like.
That's really impressive.
I've literally been doing This is another lockdown thing.
Do you ever accidentally hit anything? No. This is
Yeah,
my
yeah,
issue.
no,
I'm like, I don't have the...
Oh yeah, no.
the space.
Sometimes I've like. I do it in my spare bedroom, so sometimes I just like hit like clothes. It's my walk-in wardrobe. But yeah, so I did a outfit reel of my top 6 gym brands whilst hula hooping, and then did all the transitions together.
I really appreciate
that.
I'm gonna have to watch this.
So
Can you give us a spoiler? What are your top
my
brands?
top 6 brands in no particular order, because everyone's like, what's your favourite? And I can never really decide, because I obviously wear different brands for depending on the exercise that I'm doing. But my top 6: Gymshark, Sweaty Betty,
Classic,
Lululemon, Adenola, Aloe, and oh my god, what was number 6? Savage Fenty, Rihanna.
Oh, okay.
Her stuff is great.
Nice.
Yeah.
All good options.
Yeah.
Different price points as well.
All different.
Well, you have to watch the reel then.
Yeah,
You wanna
exactly.
see
Watch the reel and like you'll see what's best for what.
See the
and,
outfits.
see the outfits. So yeah, that was that is a chill weekend for me, guys.
Chill. Okay.
Love that.
A weekend of 2 halves. Like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
How about yourself?
Well, I also had, this weekend was very chill, so I won't talk about that. But last weekend, it was actually my birthday too. Vanessa, Aquarius season.
Aquarius
I'm with you, girl. Yeah, so
What are
I
the
had
characteristics of an Aquarius?
Aquarius. Oh gosh,
We're
that's
quite
a good question.
innovative people. So it's like people who, like, often, what is it called? Like, they like to invent things, or like,
Quite creative.
Like, creative.
Yeah.
But like not necessarily in the creative industry. Like, it could be creative in anything. Quite ambitious.
Yeah.
Those are the traits I like to remember. Because I tell myself, I gaslight myself into thinking I'm very,
No, that sounds
very innovative.
creative, and so it's Aquarius season. So on Friday night I went to karaoke box in Soho with Lam, my boyfriend, and we had just a 2-person karaoke, which was so
that
fun,
is brilliant.
honestly, and an hour and a half goes very quickly.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because you
What's
have
your
to
top karaoke song?
Yeah, so if it's just 2
Wow.
of you, are you doing like schmoozy duets? Or
No,
are you like,
no.
come on, fellas, come on.
because the duets that I want to do are like Sean Paul, which is actually it's very hard. You have to be
Very
yeah. You gotta know the songs. Whereas Lamb was like, oh, let's I'll do a bit of Oasis, a bit of The Killers. He's like into that kind of music. So it was kind of like his songs in between my like George Michael, Cheryl Cole, Girls Aloud, Kylie Minogue.
Yes.
It was actually really fun.
I love that.
We were the first people there on Friday night, which felt quite sobering, I have to say. We were like, okay, we need a drink to get through this, but it was actually really good fun. And then we went to Din Tai Fung for dim sum afterwards in Covent Garden, which is I forget how nice it is there.
Yeah.
If you just want, it does add up quite quickly if you want a lot of dumplings. However, it's just so nice. Like, the food is really good. It's just very quick. You can get in and out in about an hour.
Yeah.
So that was lovely. And then on Saturday, I had lunch with the girls. We went to Gold in Notting Hill, which has been on my list for ages, but it's very hard to get a booking on a Saturday. So for 6, I was like, okay, got in there straight away. And it was lovely. We just had some nice sharing plates, kind of like Mediterranean vibes. They've got this amazing dining room downstairs. It's kind of like in an atrium, so it's very aesthetic. It's all good for the gram if you want some nice pictures. And then afterwards, we went to this bar on Portobello called Love, which it was really nice, but it was very unassuming from the outside. We kind of went there because everyone else was really busy.
You've been in that bar. I've been looking for someone who's been in that bar, because that bar's been around, and we call it the no vibes bar, because from the outside there's like nothing that gives away. And I'm not saying that it is actually
inside,
no
it's
vibes.
all the vibes.
But like,
Inside, there were vibes.
Scary.
Yeah.
Is it really good?
Yeah, it was
Have
really
I been
nice.
wrong this whole
so
time?
It's kind of like a strange aesthetic. So you go in, there's kind of like projectors on the wall of like dolphins, and it's quite psychedelic. It sounds quite strange, but the guys who own it are so lovely. And there were 6 of us, and they were like, girls, what would you like? Margaritas? Yes, they just like made such a nice vibe. Quite an interesting crowd, a bit of a motley crew. But if you want someone that's really like low key, and importantly, the drinks were really good and fairly priced as well.
I'm gonna go now.
So,
I'm
yeah.
gonna tell my friends, because
On a
we've all been
Saturday,
like,
yeah, it was a vibe. I liked it. It's not like a fancy bar. You're not going to get like the best drink of your life, but if you just want somewhere really chill, you can just like chat to the girls and have a nice time. Then yeah, it was nice. Would recommend. Yeah. So next time, Vanessa, love.
yeah, love.
Right. So have we been watching any good TV? Reading any books? Does anyone have anything to recommend?
I went to the cinema on Saturday.
Okay.
Part of my very busy weekend. I went to see, my daughter had some friends around, so I was like, it's fine, I will leave the house. We will leave you to it. And so we went to see American Fiction with Jeffrey Wright, who I think has won some awards, the film. And it's a comedy about a black writer, but he's also a professor, a literature professor. He loses his job quite near the beginning, or he's kind of pushed out onto a sabbatical because he's basically not really connecting with his students because he's a little bit disenchanted with what's going on in the genre of African American fiction in America, like the contemporary genre, where people are writing about, kind of polarizing it to be about gangsters and drugs and guns and everything. And he's like, there's way more stories than that to be told. Anyway, he's had a few books published with medium success. He hasn't had anything published for a long time, and he decides he's going to write the book that everyone wants, which is the kind of stereotypical gangster drugs convict scenario. So he writes this book, and he's basically writing it as a complete piss take out of the genre because he's so fed up with that being the representation. And the book gets picked up for a ridiculous amount of money.
Oh, no.
It then gets like Hollywood comes knocking on the door for another 4 million. Like it goes on and on and on. And he's so frustrated. He is so angry about it. But his mother has dementia and needs to go into a really expensive care home. And so he is basically sort of goes along with it for the checks. But as the film progresses, it's very funny. It's very heartwarming. But it also, the trailer kind of just focuses on that story. But actually around that story, there's a lot to do with family relationships and love and loss and all sorts of different things. And my favourite character was his brother, who is played by Sterling K. Brown, who we just say from This Is Us, who is amazing.
Yeah,
This Is Us. I loved him.
It's just my favourite.
I need to watch This Is Us. I feel like I
my
never
God,
got on
you
there.
never watched-
No, I never
See,
got on the hype. But I need
It's my
to.
favourite.
No.
I'm actually I'm kind of jealous that you've not seen it
Yeah,
because you've
same.
got all that to look forward to.
Okay, fine.
Anyway,
On my
he
list.
plays a completely different role. So he's quite sensible in This Is Us, isn't he? But he is so different in this and so funny. He's the kind of... He's basically the gay cokehead brother, which is a massive departure if you have watched This Is Us.
Oh my God.
Yeah, right. And it's just...
Couldn't be further from Randall.
He's brilliant. He's so brilliant. And it was so lovely to see him do something else. Anyway, if you want like a sort of fun comedy that sort of is heartwarming, then I would recommend it. It's a lovely film.
American Fiction, okay.
American
in cinemas
Fiction.
now.
In cinemas now. I can't imagine it'll be too long before it's on TV.
Yeah.
It's definitely one you could watch on TV. You don't need that big.
Yeah.
screen
It come on
screen.
TV so quickly now anyway. It's
so
five
true.
years ago it'll be in the cinema and then suddenly it's on Amazon and I'm like,
Yeah,
Very
although
true,
I
yeah.
did actually go to watch it at the cinema in Battersea Power Station, which I hadn't been to
nice.
before. I know.
It's so nice.
Very bougie.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
I did a panel talk there last Monday. And that was the first time that I've
What a
been
nice
there.
event, a nice venue
Yeah.
to do
is it
that.
like
Yeah.
is it like a cozy cinema?
It's
or
kind of
a
like an
proper cinema?
everyman. It's got that type of vibe. to
Yeah.
it, but
Yeah.
like
It's like the massive
big, bigger.
seats.
Like it's way bigger than an everyman.
Nice
if
for a
that
date
makes
night,
sense.
actually.
It's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
nice. And the way that like people can walk in front of you to get out and you don't even need to move. There's so much room.
That's so
Like,
good.
it's
What a
just-
dream.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thanks, Georgina. Vanessa, anything?
Wow, I was very hungover on Sunday, so I had a lot of time spent on a sofa. I mean, reading-wise, I've been reading the same book for over a month called Milkman by Anna Burns. It's
nice.
a really good book, but it's a really hard read. Like, there's barely paragraphs or chapters, so it's everything just blocks and blocks and blocks, and it's all like the sentences are sometimes half a page long, so like it's taken me a while to read.
Do you read
but-
in English? Or
Yes,
do
yes,
you?
yes. Only exclusively. It helps me practice words, and I mean, this one I had to actually Google a few words because it's so
Sounds
extreme.
intense.
But
Yeah.
and then plus she doesn't mention names or anything, so it's like all my first brother, second brother, first brother-in-law, mom, dad.
What is the book
got
about?
really
What is
funny-
this?
It's set in Northern Ireland, but again, no names. It's
Okay.
just our side, the other side,
Yeah.
over the sea, blah blah blah. And it's set in, I think, the 70s. So it's like really in, and they're like in one of those like real war zones. So like,
Okay.
it's quite like dark in places, like a lot of like death happening. But also, it's just about this 18-year-old girl that's getting stalked by this man called the Milkman, who's not actually a milkman. There is the real milkman, which is the milkman. This is what I mean with confusing. And then and she, you know, the way she's handling it and the way the community is kind of like looking away from her. And then these rumors get spread that her and the milkman are sleeping together, but he has a wife. So then she becomes, because he is a renouncer. And it's this whole like complicated story that rolls around this 18-year-old girl that's just really lost in this in this place, which doesn't have a name, but it's somewhere around the border of Northern Ireland
during the Troubles. I'm guessing.
But yeah, it's a quite hard read, so it's taken me a while. But apart from that, on Sunday I did not read on Sunday. I did not read. I watched a bunch of comedies, and top two I'll say is, so on Amazon, I think it just came onto Amazon because it was in cinema last year, was Joyride, which is the one with Ashley Park. Is that her name? Ashley Park, the one from Emily in Paris. Yes, where she grows up in this village in America. She's adopted, so her parents are white, and then she befriends this girl, the only other Asian girl in town, basically, who's got Asian parents, and they grow up together, and then she has to go on a business trip to China and takes her friend with her as translator because she doesn't actually speak Chinese. And then two other friends tag along, one of her uni friends and the friend's eccentric cousin. And this trip, like, it just like it turns into this like crazy trip. There's some point where they're doing like a BTS, that Korean pop. Yeah. Like they do like a BTS version of WAP by Cardi B and Megan. No, was it Cardi? Yeah, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. Yeah. And it's so funny. I laughed. I cried a little. It gets a bit deep. Like it is honestly, it's funny. It's heartwarming. I enjoyed it so much. Every minute so of it. It's just the right balance of everything, and I really loved every second of it. So highly recommend watching it. I think it went a bit under because it came out at the same time where all the Barbie Oppenheimer hype was happening, so I think it just gets swallowed attention. But like it's very interesting, and very interesting as well culturally. Like the way like they grew up together, but like the Ashley Park's character is the adopted one, and she's kind of like looking for that connection, to her like birth mom's culture, and then she makes a discovery which changes things. Like it's just like really. Yeah, really lovely made. And then the other film I watched is on Netflix. It just came out. It's called The Players, or just Players. One of those. It's with what's the main character from Jane the Virgin? Gina Rodriguez. She's the main character in this, and it's basically about friends from college. They've grown up now, but they do this thing. They do a play to get someone to sleep with them for like a one-night stand, and they have like loads of different plays that they can play out. And then they do a play for this guy who's played by Tom Ellis, who's Lucifer, and I don't know if you ever watched that show. Yes. It's not the best quality show, but
also in Miranda.
In Miranda, the love interest.
Yes, he plays this guy that she does a play for, and like she ends up sleeping with him. And it's a one-night stand, but then she actually wants him to like her. So they start like coming up with this like crazy thing of like making him like her. I watched the trailer for this.
I was like, why does this sound familiar? And I was like, I didn't watch it, but I watched the trailer.
The trailer's very confusing. I have no idea what it was actually about. I'm not gonna lie. It was great fun. It's fun. It's not like you can tell like
it's a Sunday hangover movie.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't like a cinematic experience, but it was quite funny. Really enjoyed that as well. Those were the top two.
So that was on Netflix.
That was on Netflix. And they'd just come out as well. So
okay. Nice. Something lighthearted.
Some lighthearted stuff for all the hangover people out there.
We are Sunday scaries.
Love that. Yes, so I watched the end of the series Criminal Record, a show that I've been watching on Apple.
On Apple TV. Yes, because you recommended this a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I did. And it was, I think I'd missed a couple, so I've had like 2 episodes to catch up on. And it was so good. Like it was a really good ending.
I love a satisfying.
Yeah,
is it a limited series? So
Well, hopefully, I don't know if they could do a series 2, but I'm not sure whether they will or not. But I was very satisfied with how it ended. All of the actors like Kush, Tom Mucci, like they were all amazing in it. So loved that. And then my sister came around as well, actually, in the afternoon, and we watched the panel talk that I was talking about at Battersea Power Station last week. That was for a new documentary that's on BET UK about, it's called Garms, and it's about the black culture's influence on the fashion industry.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and it's got kind of like lots of different black fashion designers like Bianca Saunders and Fode from Labrum, all talking about kind of like what's influenced them and stuff at like London Fashion Week and just kind of dating back to what the influence has done and what it looks like now. So because my sister couldn't come to the panel talk, I was like, you need to watch it now. So I've already watched the documentary, but it's only like 45 minutes and you can watch it on Channel 5, their catch-up service. So that was really good, enjoyed that. And then... one into the other. Love is Blind, the new series.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh, it is so good.
Really? I feel like I dropped off after the first series. I was like, this is great. Second series, I was like, oh, I don't have time for this. And now but it is good.
It is good. I definitely have dropped off like for a couple of seasons as well. Like definitely the last one I didn't watch.
So do churn them out quite quickly,
they churn them out. And to be fair, I wouldn't have actually started watching this one. It's actually my boyfriend who loves reality TV more than I do. Yeah, he was watching it the other night, so now by proxy I'm watching it. So yeah, they had some new episodes that were released at the weekend, so I caught up on that as well.
Worth a watch?
I mean, again, it's quite not mind-numbing, but you don't need to be like paying too much attention.
Okay.
I like that when you're doing something else on the side.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's nice to have
it was like
on.
something just like in the background. Like I think that was on when I was making my granola. So so yeah, it's an easy watch / listen.
Watch, yeah. Some light relief.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Nice, really nice.
What about you?
To be fair, I haven't been watching that much TV, but I have been doing a lot of reading. I feel like I will not read for ages and then like read like 3 books in 2 weeks or something like that, which is what I've done. So
Lovely balance.
Exactly. Honestly, one extreme to the other.
Yeah.
So I read an article the other day, I think it was in the Times, and it said, if you loved one day, these are 10 books that you should read. And one of them was Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin, which actually came out 2 years ago, but it was really good.
I've heard of this book.
So it's about 2 students, they meet at university in America and they end up becoming this like amazing gaming duo.
Oh, I've heard this book, so I was like, this is the book I took on holiday and read 3 pages because I was having
you have
so
to finish
much
it.
fun. I know,
it was really good.
But do you not think it was a bit of a slow start?
I don't think it was actually. I don't know. I mean, if someone said there's a book about 2 gamers who go on to become really famous in the gaming industry, that wouldn't pull me in. But that's kind of like the secondary element. I guess the primary element is more about like
their relationship.
their relationship, their friendship. What happens when one person becomes more successful than the other person? So there's a lot going on.
Okay, don't give too much away.
I'll
finish reading it.
That's all I'll say.
All right, page 4. Here we go. Round 2.
Literally.
I mean, it's not new, but it is really good. I recommend getting through it. And it's not too long as well. So that was really good. And then I also read The Witches of Vardo by Anya Bergman, which is very my type of genre. So this sounds really strange, but I love books about like witches, anything like a little bit superstitious, but that's rooted in like actual history. So this is set in like, it's like 1660.
Like Salem or something.
Yeah, exactly, in Norway. And it's about a group of women, and one of them is, she is accused of being a witch, and it's about her family, and they're trying to basically get her off of the trial, so to save her life, because during those times, if you're a witch, you would be killed often. So that was really interesting, a bit different. If you like anything that's set in like Scandinavia, the language is quite funny actually. It's very dramatic. So that was like, okay, the first book was really good. This book was okay. And then the next book that I read was so good. This was Piglet by Lottie Hazel. Came out a couple of weeks ago. I think they gave this to you, Vanessa.
Yeah, that's the one I've got on my shelf now. That's the one after Milkman, if I ever make it through that book.
If you make it through. Okay, this is much easier to read.
Yeah,
definitely for light relief. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's about a couple, they live in Oxford, and they're in like the late 20s, early 30s, and they have this curated life that she has basically created. So from the outside, they live a perfect life, and they have their friends over for dinner parties. She makes all these elaborate meals, and they're about to get married. And then 13 days before the wedding day, he has a bombshell for her, which I obviously won't spoil. But then that disrupts their whole life and everything comes crashing down. So the whole book is about the fallout and then what happens next. But food, I mean, her name's Piglet. This is a nickname that she's been given when she was a child. And food
That's such
is...
a weird nickname.
Yeah. So there's lots of, themes of, I think she's got some kind of eating disorder. It doesn't really say what it is, but there's definitely like some disordered eating. And although saying that food is really central to the book. So if you like reading about really elaborate descriptions about food, and even like there's one dish, it's like a spaghetti, like a pasta dish, and she just describes it so beautifully, and it's almost like you can taste it. Like
does it make you hungry?
It makes you very hungry.
Are there recipes in the back?
There is actually, there is.
Is there?
Yeah, there's a
Oh my God,
recipe.
amazing.
Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly. A little bit at the back with
Yeah.
a few, like,
Exactly.
key things.
Yeah, so I think there's one recipe at the end. But yeah, it's a really enjoyable read.
Is that new, did you say?
Yeah, it came out a couple of months ago. I read
Okay.
through it in like a weekend. So
I might buy
Is it
that
the
off
cover
you.
like
Read.
there's sort of a thing stacked and it's
Yes,
all, like,
it's got, like,
dripping
donuts
with,
on the top. It's
Yeah,
like a
I've
pink
seen
cover.
it in Waterstones or something. Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, I really, really enjoyed that. So I would highly recommend. An easy read as well. So that was really good.
I need to read more. That's one thing.
That's
when
more,
everyone's
yeah.
like, you do everything, I'm like, that is the one thing I don't do, is like reading
It is
out.
hard.
It's really hard.
Like
It's really hard to put it
podcasts, theatre, film, TV.
Yeah, this one audiobooks are
Exercise,
good because
water.
you can like listen to it when
No,
you're at the
see,
gym.
I don't really like audiobooks. I
get
like
distracted
I like the
before.
physical action.
Physical, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I like a podcast, and I did a lot in lockdown. I did audiobooks in lockdown, but I just love the physical action of like actually having, like, I never got into Kindles for that reason either.
Fair.
Yeah.
I actually prefer a Kindle now.
Yeah, me
Reading a
too.
physical book, it's just too much to carry. I like filling it in my little handbag.
Really?
I think I'd prefer Kindle, but like I like collecting the books. So I'm a bit like, and then I swap it with friends, you know, like
Yeah.
I don't know. I I like the smell of it, the touch of it. So I can see the Kindle, like every day I schlep a book with me to work. And I'm
yeah.
like, I should just get
Put
a
it
Kindle.
all,
But
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know where you would find a Kindle maybe quite useful is you can, if there's a word you don't know, especially reading in
Google it.
not your first language, if you press the word, it just gives you the definition.
Yeah.
So
That's-
true.
yeah.
Very
Pops up.
cool.
So it's
Very
very
true.
cool
I did
for
not know that. Why don't they
Yeah.
advertise that more?
Wow.
I feel
actually
like
so
that
true,
would
yeah.
Yeah.
And they highlight passages that a lot of people highlight.
There you go, Kindle. Here's an
Something
advert
language,
idea
yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
Just saying.
But it is really frustrating when I say someone goes, "Oh, have you got a good book to recommend?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, I've got this," and I do want to lend it to them, and I do want to give it to them, but you can't because it's on your Kindle.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think there are like family sharing accounts.
Is
and stuff,
Piglet, is that on your Kindle, or do you have an actual copy?
The actual copy is now Vanessa.
Oh, okay.
So, but what it can
It's
perhaps
once
do the
it
rounds.
can
Yeah, I was gonna say,
It's the travelling book of Chillax. It's Piglet.
Yeah, by the time
Exactly.
you've like finished Piglet, I'll have finished tomorrow, whatever it's
Exactly.
called. So,
And
There
then
we
it will
go,
just
there we
it's
go.
like we
Every time.
continue.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, I was going to say though, for the reading, I don't find time for reading at all. That's why I started reading on my commute. So the only time I read during the week is like the 2 hours I travel.
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
And like honestly, I can get through a book so quickly.
Yeah.
Makes
With
such
that,
a difference.
yeah.
Again,
It
apart
does,
from
yeah.
this one I'm reading right now, but all the others,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it honestly, like you read so much
It's
through
such
the
a
week.
good time to
Yeah.
read.
Because I always felt really anxious that I was wasting time sitting on a tube, like just being there. And like even when I listen to music, I'm like, oh. So now when I read, it just feels like so much better.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's
okay,
the one
I've
good thing
done
about
something.
commuting. You
Yeah.
can read or listen
Although I
to
have
something.
missed my stop several times now.
I know that's actually
Easily done.
the last time I did that. I ended up at Clapham South. Yeah, I looked up
At
and
least you can walk
I
down.
was like, oh, I just
down?
change. Well, no, it's tomorrow. It's literally my first week when I started. I still had it from holiday, and I was like, I'm gonna
So
finish
it was
it.
gripping after all that.
I still need to finish it.
Yeah, add it to your list. Well, speaking of conversation, we've been talking for a while. Georgina, you bought an interesting piece that you found in the newspaper.
I liked this. It was in the Telegraph. It's called 9 Ways to Survive Small Talk, but actually it's more about the art of conversation, I would say. And basically it was saying that some people find conversation really difficult and they find small talk quite frustrating and they'd like to move on to kind of a more, not important, but sort of a bit more meaningful, I guess, conversation. So it just talks about what conversation is and the different kinds of conversation that you can have. So there's practical conversations about decision making and problem solving, emotional conversations, obviously about feelings, and social conversations, how we relate to other people and how society sees us. And the main miscommunication comes when different people think they're having different conversations. So your mode of conversation is not aligned, and that's why you can then feel frustrated with the conversation. So for example, your partner might come home and be really fed up, or flatmate or whoever, and be moaning about their co-workers, and they're actually just having quite a practical conversation, but you're then going in really deep, trying to kind of psychoanalyze why they're feeling that way. Right. And so that's where your mode of conversation is not connecting. So I thought that was really interesting.
That's interesting. Miscommunication 101.
Yeah. And then it talked about if you're meeting people for the first time, and you want to I was going to say create intimacy, but maybe that sounds a little bit close.
Not for the first meeting.
So maybe you're at a friend's house for dinner and you're sat next to someone you don't know, and you've got to, you're going to be there for 2 hours. You want to try and have a nice time and a good conversation. So there's some tips which I thought were quite nice. So there's something called the staircase of intimacy. So you start with facts and practical matters, then you go to opinions, and then you go to feelings. So that's how you can build up rapport with somebody. But actually, before you even get there, the researcher says that you can spend just even 30 seconds jotting down a few starting points to make the conversation better and to make you feel more connected. Another tip was to start a conversational treasure hunt. The mindset I bring to small talk is the idea that it's a treasure hunt. Why is this person interesting? How quickly can I find common ground? And one of the ways you can do this is to make the other person, this sounded a little bit premeditated, but to find a way to make the other person useful to you. So there's nothing more flattering than feeling like you've helped someone, she says. A straightforward compliment is good, but if it's something like, I love that outfit, where did you buy it? I'd love to find something similar that allows you to reveal a bit about yourself while inviting them to help. And this is apparently a very good way to get a conversation started.
Okay.
So I guess you're investing in them and they're investing back in you.
Yeah.
And
you're
that's
kind of
where you're,
disarming them a little bit as well.
Yeah, and you're giving them obviously some good flattery, which is always nice to pay a compliment.
It's always nice to hear.
Yeah, and then the other thing was to speak half as often as you listen.
I think that's really good advice.
Yeah, I think that's...
Especially when meeting someone for the first time. You don't want to be constantly talking over them. That's like my bugbear. If I meet someone... It doesn't happen that often, to be fair, but when it does, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Clearly not listening.
Yeah.
Well, it's the difference between listening to understand and listening to answer.
Yes, that's very true. Yeah.
The difference.
So I guess the nature of our jobs is that we meet a lot of new people all the time. Do you guys have any tips on how to make a good first impression? It's quite hard.
That is a really good question, actually. I kind of going back to what you were saying there, I think listen, like don't talk over people. Yeah, get to know them as much as you can in, I don't know, that 5-minute or 2-minute interaction that you have, and just be quite disarming.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Georgina?
I think it's kind of trying to put someone else at ease, because it then also puts yourself at ease. So if you're instantly, even if it's really kind of what feels like quite bland small talk, but it can almost be a little bit of an icebreaker, like, oh, have you come far? How did you get here? Even
the weather.
Anything that just gets someone talking.
If in doubt, the weather.
Any question about sort of what someone's done to get to where they are that day even is just quite a nice opener. But I think it's just nice to start on a kind of nice level that feels a bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
And go from there.
Just find some common ground, and there's always going to be common ground about the weather.
Yeah, so true.
Especially in England. So.
Especially in the UK.
Yeah, exactly.
I also think it's important to read the room. Like if someone clearly doesn't want to talk too much, then you can kind of leave it as like, like, how are you,
really
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But if someone, you feel like they want to talk, then that's your time to ask them some more questions.
Yeah, that's a really good tip.
Yeah, otherwise it can be quite awkward.
Yeah.
If they don't want to talk and you're just chatting at them.
And I guess asking open questions, not closed questions, then that means they can't just run away and hide.
Yeah, open questions, definitely.
One-word answers.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, speaking of questions, should we answer some? This is a nice one. I'll come to you, Nana. Someone has said, what are your favourite small fashion brands in the UK?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think I've actually spoken about this brand before on the show, a brand called Kai Collective. It's a Nigerian designer, lots of colour, lots of prints, very me. Well, not today, but usually. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I love Kai. If you're looking for like a party dress or something fun to go out with, another brand that I love is one called Selza that my friend who's actually a stylist, she put me onto them. I would say my top tip basically though, for if you do want to look for kind of like smaller brands and like independent brands, would be Instagram, to be honest, just because I think, or if you see kind of like any influencers that are like tagging people, it's a really good place. You've got the Instagram shop as well. It's a really good place to look and find those like smaller ones, or somewhere like ASOS Marketplace as well. They have if you go on their brands list, they have all the smaller kind of like independent ones as well.
Yeah, good tip. Okay. Someone has also asked, how do you style a pair of khaki cargo trousers? Which I feel, are these in style again this season?
Yeah, they're still, cargo trousers are still going to be a big thing, definitely. So for me personally, I always would style cargos with heels, just because I think they're quite a kind of like tomboyish, like masculine piece. Well, depending on the material. If they're in silk, then obviously that's different. But yeah, I would have heels, a vest top, and maybe like an oversized leather jacket would be how I would personally style it. Alternative to that could obviously be with trainers, a printed t-shirt tucked in, a denim jacket, or a bomber jacket over the top. Like, they are like a really great piece to have in your wardrobe. I would say it's a pair of cargo pants, trousers.
Very versatile.
Yeah.
Georgina, I feel like you have some khaki trousers.
I have got some. Yeah, I've got some from Uniqlo. They're kind of like a wide leg, and I actually really like wearing them with my white kitten heel boots and then a shirt. So I kind of like the kind of utilitarian bottom half. Yeah. Then with the heels, I never wear them with trainers. Yeah. And then I do actually have a pair of black silk, like bunched at the bottom. Is that still then cargo?
They're still cargo, yeah.
They're from NYC, and they're just black silk with pockets on the side and bunched at the bottom. And I wear those with heels and like a vest top, kind of going out.
Nice, really nice.
I love them. I have to say they're so useful.
Yeah, I think they're a good piece to have in the wardrobe, definitely.
Yeah,
good to invest in.
Yeah.
Okay, question from our community now. Someone has said, do you have any ideas for a fun day or evening date that's indoors, not dinner, but want to do something fun in the evening when it's raining?
Karaoke with Sherri and Lamb. Right?
I was going to say,
Yes, actually.
karaoke.
Yeah, you could get a karaoke machine.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
I love playing cards.
Oh, me too. Okay,
yeah,
that's
like
nice.
cards and some wine, or and just have some like music on in the background.
That's nice. You can always bring cards to a bar as well.
Yeah,
like, people should do that more.
We always take cards on holiday with us as well to like play on the beach.
Yeah,
so nice.
There is at the Tate are doing like evenings of like DJ and board games.
Oh,
I don't know if you've seen. I
like
don't
Tate
know.
Lates.
Yeah, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
My friend sent me the Tate, and I was like, that's a really cute date idea as well. When if you want to like, you know, do something fun, have a drink, and then you can like play a game. There's a bit of like a icebreaker as well.
A bit of an activity.
Date. Sorry, I only think first dates. Because
You're doing that a lot.
Yeah, you could do that at any date. Yeah, that's really fun.
Yeah, I feel like that could be quite fun as an indoor.
Really nice.
And if you want to go out afterwards, you can. If you want to go home, you can. Like, it's very easy.
Yeah. Play it by ear.
How about you got any?
I was to say, my brother and sister-in-law on their first date, they went to a silent disco at the Natural History Museum.
That is a real icebreaker.
And now they're married.
Oh, there you go.
That was a cool first
That's
date.
really cool. Yeah, I think museum gallery, that's quite, that's a done deal. Borough Market as well. That's really nice.
Yeah.
And then they do like special food tours as well.
Yeah.
So if you wanted like a focus on Spanish food or Italian or whatever it is, you can actually book one of their food tours and
Isn't this indoors that she wants
the
to
indoor
do?
bit, yeah. Should we do one more? Sure. Someone has said, what is your one beauty everyday must have? It's quite hard to just pick one.
Mine is easy.
Beauty or makeup?
beauty they've said.
So
Maybe just go makeup. That's more
Makeup,
specific.
yeah, mine
Makeup.
is always lip gloss.
Okay.
So I have a minimum of 3 lip glosses on me at like any given time.
What's your go-to brand?
Fenty,
Yeah.
Savage, Gloss Bomb in hot chocolate.
Specific, like
Yeah.
it. Yeah, those lip glosses are so good.
Yeah.
Fenty's does it so well. Georgina?
I mean, if it was only one thing, I'd probably go black mascara, but I would ideally have foundation too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can have one. We're having one.
Okay, so Charlotte's going to bring Pillow Talk black mascara.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Vanessa?
I think it would be blush. I love
Blush.
blush. I just love, like, it just adds a little bit to life. And I know it's hard without, I don't want to say concealer, but concealer's on it. But like, I feel like blush would be, it just brings my face to life.
Just gives you a bit of, boom.
Exactly.
What blush do you use?
Well, it would be either the Veef one or the Hourglass palette, the one with the snake on it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Hourglass do really nice blush.
Yeah, those two. Or the Merit, actually. That's also
Merit's
good.
a good one.
It's so hard. One is too hard.
One is like, I've already got a whole bag
you're
now.
already at 3.
No, a blush. Some sort of blush.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, mine would be blush as well, I think. Or mascara, Maybelline Lash Sensation. Doesn't get old. Okay, right. I think we'll leave it there, but thank you so much for listening. If you have any feedback at all, please do email us at podcast@sherlux.com. You can also look out for our question box on Instagram each week or ask your questions on the SL community at community.sherlux.com. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and tell your friends. See you next time.